In today's video, we're going to talk about something very important, which is subqueries in SQL. Yes, I knew how difficult it was for me to learn subquery when I was self-learning. Even some YouTube videos was very hard for me to understand, and that is why I made this video with you all in mind. After you are done watching this video, you are going to be able to write a subquery by yourself without any help. Stay to the end of this video because the last question that we're going to be working on today is an interview question, and I'm sure you want to know it. Before you go ahead, like this video, subscribe to this channel, and make sure you leave a comment in the comment section. All right, let's begin.
Okay, guys, so this is the table we are going to be using. Okay, this is the table, is a customer table and an orders table. Okay, you're going to get this query in my description. So go to my description to get this query, download it and paste it in your SQL and run it so that you can be able to create the table. So what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to highlight this query to create my table. So I'll just highlight it and click on execute and my table is created. And for me to see my table, I'm just going to do the select statement. So I'll say select from customers and then select all from others. So select all from customers and select all from others to see our table. So see the table we have here. So we have the customer ID, name, city, order ID, customer ID, order date and amount. Okay. And then these are the questions we're going to be answering, and we're going to be using subquery to answer them. Remember that these questions are actually interview questions. So do well to actually pay attention and understand the syntax of how to write these queries. So the first is return the orders made by customers who live in Lagos. So we want to get the orders made by customers who live in Lagos. So we're going to be, is it the order table? This is the order table. The order table is, this is the order table. The second table and the customer table is the first table. So we want to get the orders made by customers who live in Lagos. So to before you even start writing your subquery, you need to understand that reading the question and understanding the question is the first thing you need to do. It's very, very important because the question is what will help you or guide you on how you write your query. And if you understand the question, you'll be able to write the correct query. So now this is saying return the orders made by customers who live in Lagos. So this return the orders means that they want to see everything in the orders table. Okay, so we're going to start with selecting everything in the orders table. So select everything from orders. So return the orders by customers who live in Lagos. So now the only thing we're going to be doing with the customer table is the city column, right? Because we want to get the customers of those, the orders of those that live just in Lagos. Okay. So I'm going to say select everything from orders, right? Where customer ID in, I'll open this bracket. So now select everything from orders where customer ID in. I will now do select. Don't just wait. When I'm done writing this query, I'm going to explain how I came about this. So select, I'll say select everything. I'll say select customer ID from customers where city is equal to Lagos. Then I will close the bracket. Okay, so let's run this query if it's to be sure that it is correct. Okay, sorry, from, so select customer ID from customers where city is equal to Lagos. So basically I stopped explaining from here. So I said select everything from orders because we are asked to return everything in the order table where customer ID in. So if you look at the order table and the customer table, you will notice that the only similar columns they have is the customer ID. So we're going to be joining these two tables using the customer ID. So that's why we said where customer ID in. So this customer ID from the order table we wrote it here because we want to join it with the customer ID and the customer table so that we can actually make use of these two tables at once. Okay, so select everything from others where customer ID in this query. So this open bracket and everything here is a subquery. Open bracket and everything here is a subquery. So basically, subquery is just a query inside a query, right? Two queries in one query. So subqueries always have two or more select statements. So when you see a query having two or more select statements, it is called a subquery. So a subquery is a query that has two or more select statements. Okay, so this in, right, and then this is the subquery. So what is happening here is that say select everything from others where customer ID in this. So what is going to happen is that it's going to give us others where their customer ID is in the result of this query here. So the customer ID, the order that will come out is the order that their customer ID is in the result of this query. So that is it. That is it. So if I highlight this, oh, sorry, I'm supposed to just use single quotes here, not double quotes. So I'm going to edit this. Yeah. So I'm going to highlight this and execute. So now it's giving us the order ID, the customer ID, the order date, and amount of customers who live in Lagos. Okay, who live in Lagos. So this query is a query on its own. If I highlight this query and then execute it, see this is the customer ID of customers that live in Lagos. So what this is doing is that it will give us the orders, right, of the customers that their customer ID is part of this result. So this is the result. So it's going to give us the orders that the customer ID is part of this result. So the customers that is the orders that it will give us, the orders that have customer ID 1 and 4 is the orders that have customer ID 1 and 4. So if you look at it, you see that the customer ID 1 and 4. So this is the result. This is the query for this first question. Is the query for the first question. So now let's write the query for the second one. So the second one is also see the customer name and the city along with their orders. So now we want to see the customer name, the city along with their orders. So we want to see the orders of customers who live in Lagos, not just the orders, right? Not just the orders, but we want to get the order name, the customer name, and the city. So if it's this result, is just giving us order ID, customer ID, order date, and amount. But this time around, we want to also get the customer name and the city. Okay. So how we're going to do this is this time we're going to use join. And we're going to be using inner join to do this. Okay. So we're going to say select. So I'm going to copy this and I'll come here and paste it. So I'll say select O dot everything because we want to get everything in the other table, right? O dot everything. Then I'll not say C dot customer name. Remember, I want to get the customer name of the customer. So I want to see how the customer name is written in the table. So the customer name is just written as name. So I'll say C dot name, comma C dot city from others, right? Inside, I will not say inner join, or you can just say join. So inner join customers C, then others O. So basically, this here O is just representing these customers and others. So instead of writing others here, it's going to we just use O as the abbreviation of others. Okay. So we're not going to say on. So the on is specifying the column, the primary and foreign key. That's the column we're going to use to join these two tables. So we're going to say on O dot customer ID equals to C dot customer ID. So we're going to say where O dot customer ID in this. So we're now going to highlight this and we execute it. So now we are getting the order ID, customer ID, order date, amount, name, and the city of the customers. So this is how we are going to do the second one. So let me explain this thing properly, just in case you didn't get it in the first place. So I say select O dot everything. Okay. So this O means order table. So select order table dot everything. So everything in the order table, comma C dot name. So the customer table, select only the name and only the city from the order table. O, inner join customer C. Okay. On, now this is where we are specifying the primary and foreign key that we're using to join the two tables. So on O dot customer ID equals to C dot customer ID. Then we'll now say where O dot customer ID in this. So the customer ID that is going to give us from the other table is a customer ID that meets this the result of this query, which is, I think the result of this query is customer ID 1 and 4. So you see that the customer ID is still customer ID 1 and 4. So basically, instead of writing this subquery here, you can just remove it. So I'm going to highlight this and copy it. I want to show you something. So it's easier. Instead of writing that subquery there, you can just remove it, and then you can just remove everything here. And you say where C dot city. Where C dot city is equal to Lagos. This is without subquery. So let's say you're just using join to answer this question. You can do it like this. So this will also give you the same results. Okay. So it's either you do it this way or you do it this way, anyone that you want. But because we are talking about subquery, that is why we did it this way. Okay. So that's for number two. So let's go to number three. Number three is find customers who place at least one order greater than 400. So let me name these things. So this is question one. This is question two. So we're going into question three. So question three is customers who place at least one order greater than 400. So the customers who place an order, who place at least one, that means we want to get everything in the customer table. So we're going to start with select all from customers where customer ID in open bracket select customer ID, okay, where amount is greater than 400. So select customer ID from others where amount is greater than 400. So close the bracket because the question is who placed at least one order greater than 400. Okay, and then we're going to highlight this and execute it. So now these are the customers that made at least and one order that is greater than 400. Customer, these are customer ID and then the name and then the city. Okay, so that's for question number three. Now moving into the question number four. So question number four is list the customers who have never placed an order. So customers who has never placed an order. So we are going to be using customers who does not have any order or who never placed any order. So we are going to do select everything from customers, right? Where customer ID in open bracket select customer, okay, no, where customer ID not in. So where customer ID not in, select customer ID from others. So we want to get the customers that their customer ID is not in others. So if their customer ID is not in others, means they did not make any order. So we're going to highlight and execute this. So you see that no customer is in this query because every customer made an order. Okay, every customer made an order. So this in and not in, they are called membership operators. They are called membership operators. Okay, so this is it for question number four, and then we are moving into Question number 5. So subquery is a part of SQL that usually comes out in interviews, and these are likely questions you can get when you are doing your data analytics interview. So now the number 5, the fifth question is find the orders with the maximum amount. So we want to get the orders with the maximum amount. Find the orders with the maximum amount. We're going to say select everything from orders where amount is equal to, open your bracket, select maximum, want to get maximum amount as max amount from others. Then we're going to highlight it and we're going to execute it. So select everything from others where amount is equal to this. So the amount will be equals to the maximum amount. Okay. The amount will be equals to the maximum amount. So the maximum amount is this. This is basically you can actually do this. You can solve any of these subqueries. You can actually do them twice. Okay, you can do them two times. So the benefit of subquery is so that you will not have to write two queries. You don't have to write two queries to get a result. You just write one query, put the two queries into one to get a result. So if I have to write this one after the other, I'll first of all, I'll first of all I'll first of all write this query here. So I'll first of all write this query here. This I'll first of all write this query to get the maximum amount. If I write it to get the maximum amount, which is 600, I will now say, I will now say, select everything from others where maximum amount is equal to 600. That's what I would say. Then I'll highlight this and click on execute. So it will still give me the same result that it gave me here. So this, you see, is still the same result. So instead of writing them into two times, you can just say select everything from others where amount is equal to this. So you write the query that will give you the maximum amount and it will return the same results. So that is it for our class today in subqueries. If you're new in SQL and you still want to learn more about SQL, especially the beginning part, then this video is for you. This next video here is for you. Click on it and start your journey in SQL. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you in my next video. Thank you for watching.